Good evening. Welcome to GT McKay's Cope and Seethe podcast, the live show. How are we all doing? I am your host, GT McKay. And yeah, well, usual fucking business going on tonight, to be honest. We do have a double... There we go. That's the kind of intro I live for on this show. But yeah, we've got a double header of Incel My Ride this week. Won't be talking about films because I haven't watched anything of late. I've got quite a few waiting to be reviewed. Not that anyone's actually fucking watching them at the minute, but you know, be that as it may, I shall continue on. I figure I need to get to probably at least the 25 video mark before I can legitimately complain. But believe you me, I will do that before that is the case. And yeah, I'm going to talk about True Detective. So that's pretty much what's on the agenda. Of course, if you do want to be part of the spin the wheel competition, you will have to either super chat or donate. I'll check my email for any PayPal donations. Anything you can afford would be appreciated. But when it comes to the Wheel of Misfortune, it's got to be at least a tenner because you can win something reasonable out of it. I'm not going to pretend that it's anything generous. But yeah, it's a book or a bottle. And as you all know, that costs a fair bit of money. And, well, depending on where you are in the world, it can be a real fucking pain in the arse, if I'm honest. Because for some reason, anytime people want stuff, they live in places that the cost of sending stuff is an arsehole. Or, you know, for some reason, I can't just buy it on Amazon. I don't know. But we'll figure it out if and when we come to it. I mean, your chances of actually winning that are about, I think, 1 in 20 odd, something like that. So not the worst odds, admittedly, but you don't want a prize, just my respect. I mean, I can put my respect on there as a prize if you want. Actually, I will do that right now. If I remember how to use this fucking thing. Where the fuck? Alright, so, edit. To be honest, this fucking thing is rubbish. So, give me a minute. If you want to complain, here's the author's email. I can't remember where it is. Select. Oh, there we go. So, add. GC's respect. There you go. That's in there now. If you have any more suggestions, then let me know. Well, okay, we'll address the vape, shall we? Actually, I'm trying a new flavour at the minute, and it's not great. I'm kind of just sucking on it to get rid of it, if I'm honest. It's all right, but the aftertaste is a bit grim. It's called dark tobacco. It's not very nice. It kind of tastes like I'm smoking a fucking oak table or something. That's the aftertaste I'm getting from it. Like I'm literally sucking on a wooden dildo or some shit. But yeah, if any of you are looking, I mean, I tell you what, these things, they don't half make not smoking easy. Go figure. But yeah, if you did even if you just want to cut down on smoking, these things are pretty fucking good. Sorry, my studio's falling apart. Obviously because it's got nicotine in it, but I've been kind of surprised by how it, you know, just works. You save a bit of time on stuff as well. Although I would also add that they're pretty fucking addictive. Again, go figure. But more by just the habit as well, and it's like it never ends. My only other mild complaint is they can dry you out a bit more than cigarettes do, or at least more than the tobacco I was smoking, which I guess was, you know, moister, more moist than a lot of your mums watching this right now. So yeah, maybe that's what I should move on to be honest. Fuck the movie. Who's watching movies anymore? You know, you have to actually have an attention span to do that. I think that's where I'm going wrong. I need to hone in on. I saw one on Instagram. Some, you know, cute Asian chick, but she reviews car parks. So she just kind of, which I think is a slightly risky thing to do for a young woman, especially when it's at night. And she's just, but yeah, the whole thing's like stupid as fuck. But you know, it's got a following. So I don't really know why I even know of that as either. To be honest, it just popped up. But yeah, the vapes are they're way cheaper. Even if you're like going at it like nobody's business, to be honest. That's also another reason I've converted to it, because well, actually that was the primary reason. Yeah, tobacco over here is like, I got quite a lot in Istanbul because it was only like, let me try and work out how much it was. It was about £6. It wasn't as cheap as I actually thought it was, but it was £6 for 50 grams. So that's nearly double what you can get here for £17. So I mean, the maths is pretty mental. And once I ran out, I ran out of that pretty quick, and then was buying tobacco again. And I'm thinking, I'm spending like fucking £25 a week on this shit, and it's, you know. Whereas with the vape, well, I haven't really noticed it. I have stocked up on quite a lot of it, but yeah, in general, it's a hell of a lot cheaper, especially if you buy your stuff online. So, well, I was waiting for someone to say that, you know. Thank you. Should I say it's my birthday again? I was actually tempted to say I was actually like roasting you last week. It's this week is my actual birthday. So, you know, we don't want the spin the wheel feature to lose its vigor, do we? Is it already, you know, the novelty's gone. That's the problem nowadays. You instant gratification whores just want new shit all the time. But well, it's there. I'll be here to remind you of it as well. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll start. I'll tease you because I've got a couple of, or at least one of the Incel My Rides is it's a bit of a different vibe, and it's something. I'll tell you that much. It's not. I suppose it's not really an Incel My Ride kind of feature, but well, it's a dude in a car talking about sex, so good enough, I would say. And yeah, it's just got a bit of a different vibe. But I'll warn a bit more before that actually comes on, and I'll probably put that on last. I'm intrigued to see how you're going to react to that one. But the one before that is your pretty standard. You know, I'm 23 and never had a woman and all this kind of stuff. So we'll start traditionally, and then yeah, I'll probably just finish it off with the last one, or maybe I'll get to that, and if there's a bit of time, we'll just have a chat. How much for the stupid wheel? For you, Hawk, 20. Alright, your comment, thank you, Zarathustra, or Zarathustra. I got a feeling I know who this is, by the way. Oh no, it would be Zarathustra. A tush as in ass, for those of you unaware. I'll read the comment now before the pop-up. By the way, I have on multiple occasions thought about how when I'm going to get stupidly rich, I'll surely come by on your random stream and donate you a couple of grands. That'll be roughly in 5 years. Why don't you take out a loan, and if you're so confident of this, yeah, put your money where your mouth is now. Well, just double the tenor and you're on. All right. Actually, I know a way of getting you a book, assuming that's what you're going to pick. So, and you know it as well. We can meet in the middle. For one go, one time only, $7.50. Can I before I give you the wheel spin, you've thought about it multiple times about getting rich. I mean, we've all done that, mate. And look at us now. I mean, not that I'm not rooting for you. He's a clever boy. He's a clever boy, isn't he? He's fucking nothing gets past you, Hawk. Well, Painbow actually makes a pretty good point there as well. That I'd put that question to you as well, Tushy boy, assuming you're a boy. But yeah, you have met the. I'll change the. I mean, I get 70% of that. Last time I checked. So what is that? 36. Let me just. I probably don't even get 70 to be honest, but boom. Thank you very much. Let's see. So what you won, son? You get to ask a question. You lucky bastard. That's actually a winning, like one of the three winning selections. One question. You know, think of it as a genie out of a bottle. I mean, obviously you can't make a wish, but you can ask whatever you want within reason. I'm not saying I'm actually going to answer, but I mean, I've got a question for you. I mean, how are you going to get rich? Because if it's something to do with drop shipping or... I tell you what. The best way to get rich is to be psychopathic, for one thing. Exploitative. I mean, Heathcliff knew this. You've got to read Wuthering Heights. I mean, it doesn't actually feature how he gets rich. But he basically explains it by exploiting his next man, pretty much. Bit trickier these days, admittedly. I'd imagine having multiple revenue streams. I mean, I guess Hamza or someone like that is probably who you want to look at. So the manosphere is a good market because there's a lot of vulnerable virginal men out there who you can exploit. There's an irony with that as well, because these people will complain about the women who do it via OnlyFans and whatnot, and they're simps. But at the same time, they kind of offer exactly the same kind of business. So they take you in, and for a monthly fee, you'll get advice on how to be a man and all of this kind of stuff. But really, you're just as much as their bitch as you would be the thought bitch if you were just giving money to them. So if you could find a middle, actually, with that. That's a business. That's something. You know, I suppose. I mean, you could say Courtney Ryan does that in a similar way. She pretends to give a shit about men's problems and makes sure her cleavage stays ample and gives the most banal, trivial. I mean, a lot. You need to be quite bot-like, so you could probably get AI to do all of your work essentially. And yeah, I mean that's a niche. Oh, I mean, we're waiting for your question. Now, I do actually have a well-paid job, and I'm getting there. I feel like I'm burning out, though. By the way, sorry for my broken English. It's my third language. Okay. The plot thickens. I mean, if you've got a well-paid job, how come you're only giving me a tenner? That's my first question. Are you? If you're being clever because you want to donate and get a spin every time, I get it. You know, knock yourself out. 10, 10, 10. You know, you're going to get that spin. Because if you give me 20, you're only getting one spin. So you know, I can see why you're already making that dollar. You know. In what profession, may I ask? I mean, I'm asking you all the fucking questions here. You can ask me something now, if you want. I mean, you've got till the end of the stream, assuming I see it. You know, the place is rocking. 20 of us in here, I might miss it. So, but now is the time to ask. And Hawk, what's going on? Have you donated yet, you tight bastards? Oh, hello. Got one from a. Is that a name? Preben. It's got an email and everything. Where the fuck are you from? Who are you in the chat? Are you there? Maybe you want to be quiet. That would be fair enough. Thank you very much. £10. Pleben? Preben. Pleb. Oh my god. The most obscure name I've ever read. Like, I don't even know where you're from. I'm giving away my own fucking ignorance here. And I apologise for that. But I could not guess. At all. Unless it's Hawk. But yeah, well, the spin is coming your way. Notice here how the money actually goes up. I don't get the full tenner. PayPal will take about, I don't know, 5%-ish, 7%. But fuck it. We'll just do it like that. It's good enough. Thank you very much. Get on with the spin. This is actually like my favourite section. What's up? Here we go then. Where are you from? I mean, I could Google this shit, admittedly. Oh, we got another one. Painbear, you'll be next. Get in line, mate. You get to recommend a film for review. Fucking, I'd swear tonight the fucking book is going to get given up because they ask a question and the recommend a film for review. Those are like the best prizes. So any film you want, I will watch it. And so long as it's not like the worst fucking movie I've ever seen, although I'll probably still review it anyway. It can be any film you want. As long as I can find it, that's my only requirement. So if it's some really obscure thing, then yeah, we'll have to work that out. Usually I can find whatever. So if you want to think on it, you can email me. He's from Norway. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I've just never heard that name before. Then I've watched Scandinavian films. I've just never seen that. Is it an unusual name? I'll get over it in a minute. But yeah, you can recommend a film. Congratulations. And I will try and do it in the upcoming weeks. I've got a few in the pipeline, and maybe maybe you'll recommend one that people will actually want to watch, because apparently the ones I'm picking no one gives a shit about. So anyway, Painbow, it's your go. Let's do this. Boom. GC's respect. You have my undying respect, friend. Well, I don't know what that means, to be honest. It doesn't mean I'll treat you with respect. I'll still treat you like a bitch. But know deep down that I do respect you. I did anyway, to be honest. You wasted your money, but, you know, at least now you know. It's like guaranteed. Are you recommending a Russian film? It's on YouTube with English subs. For some reason, I knew it was going to be a foreign film. A Place on Earth. I don't think so. I'll have a quick look. But it doesn't sound familiar. What time is the film from? A Place on Earth. 2001, maybe? Oh no, it's not that. Film. I should fucking find it, I guess. Is it a French film? Or it might be a translation issue. Oh, thank you for the reminder. I'm still very intrigued by that whole kink. Batty, you know what you got to do, son. You got to fucking... got to dish it out. It's on YouTube. Let me try and find it then. I've just Googled it and I've just found Placer la Terre. So I don't think that's the film you're talking about. Maybe it is. I don't know. A Place on Earth. It's a bit of a generic title, I guess. Film ing subs. Let me see what that... The fuck is this? Alright, here we go. It is there. Does anyone want the link? I don't know. Maybe some of you want to watch it. There you go. I think I'm allowed to do that. Oh, it doesn't fucking come up. Never mind. So it's had 4.5 thousand views in 2 years. Not the best return. Better than me, mind you. This looks like the most obscure fucking movie. Like, even the opening fucking title is like off center. What the? Amazing. Can't wait. Can't wait. I'll even give it a like. Get it up to the 70. So I remember. I'll put this on my watch later. Oh Jesus! I'm gonna need some drink to watch this, aren't I? Wow, this looks fucking weird. Oh no, I thought I saw something. Oh, we got naked babies. I could see why you recommended it. An Asian guy. What does the comment say about this? All right, yeah, I'll give it a watch. I'll give it a watch. All for £10 fucking. I need to make it 50. I'll make my girlfriend suffer with me. So there's something. And it's in black and white. There's a guarantee that's going to get like 20 views and lose me 50 subs. But whatever. To be honest, I can't buy a sub in the minute, so it doesn't really make a difference. It's the best time to ask for it. Oh, you came up with the question, did you? All right. Good man, good man. Where the fuck are you? So you got lost in the... Are you sure? What? Okay, here it is. What was your legit dream that never came true, and why? Well, I mean, if I knew why it never came true, maybe I could have done something about it. Legit dream that never came true. I mean, I guess I'd be tempted to say becoming like a professional actor, but I'm not even sure that would be true, to be honest. I mean, because originally I wanted to be a rock star, you know, like many a young man. But then I realised I had no musical talent whatsoever. And yeah, I guess I did play guitar, and I did a bit of singer-songwriting and things like that. And I wrote a couple of tracks that were all right, you know, not bad for someone who had very limited ability on the guitar, at least. No musical kind of, I mean, no natural gift for it whatsoever. I remember I had an uncle, and he had perfect pitch. He could hear a note and just fucking like, oh, E sharp or whatever. Yeah, I didn't have that. And I wasn't particularly good with rhythm either. Like if I was singing and playing, I was all right if it was in a standard 4/4 or whatever. But if it had anything intricate, not particularly good with that. Or wasn't at the time. Maybe with practice I could have got better. But yeah, I don't know. I suppose that was just one of the reason I didn't get anywhere with it is because I had no talent. At least I had the self-awareness to realise at some point, and maybe that was even why I went on to like kind of screamo metal, because I could scream pretty well. And if I was to go, I mean, with the acting thing, or even with the music stuff, I think a lot of it just comes down to being born into the wrong family. I mean, I don't want to use that as an excuse, but yeah, if you're born into like poverty and no social class and things like that, the chances of you actually breaking out of that and, you know, making something of yourself in industries which are, I mean, they're more controlled now, never more than now. But even back in the 50s, 60s, 80s, it was the same. You know, there might have been a way to get through, and some part of me thinks with the acting, like if I carried on and pursued it even through really difficult circumstances, who knows? You know. But financially speaking, it just wasn't viable, and it's something I do consider trying to get back into, because now I could do it on a more casual basis. So those are in ways, those dreams I did realise, because I did train, you know, and I did do certain things that, yeah, obviously no one's ever heard of, but some of them were fairly high budget, so they gave you the feeling of like what it would be like, at least on a kind of small scale, you know. And I would say that those things are what led me to writing. So I kind of owe a debt to that, just because it's made me realise that I prefer working on my own back and doing my own thing and when I was acting especially, but also true with songwriting. I guess you'd hear or you'd read something else that was quite popular, and you just think, this is shit. I could do better than this. And then it's like, that kind of urges you to do it. Getting anywhere with it is the biggest trick, and I wouldn't actually recommend anyone does it. You have to if you have that creative part of you, good luck, because life is shit without it. You probably can't even live, actually, I would say, and yet it will also be the kind of curse on your life as well. But that's a whole fucking stream worth of debate and whatnot. Good question. And for the small price of £10, you just might be able to ask another one. Coping and seething on the coping. Yeah. He's on form. He's back. He's back after making a mug of himself with that last comment. Yeah, of course. I mean, look at the cunts who get famous these days. Ed Sheeran isn't a fucking musician. Taylor Swift. Suck on that. Oh, he's really done me over there. Fucking about £1.45. I'm going to feel that. You're quickly losing my respect. You better super chat me again. Preben was the one who's fucking won out on this. I've got to watch a 2-hour fucking black and white obscure movie that no one's ever heard of. It better be good, by the way. I am intrigued, but I can't exactly say. Well, it's not giving me a boner. Let's put it that way. Yeah, or not parents that decide to fuck off to France when you're trying to get your career going. That's true, but maybe that was a good thing in the long run. I didn't expect it to last forever. I just thought I might, if I could have that couple more years, that would have probably helped, because it's similar to like when you're learning to drive, and then when you're actually driving, that's when you kind of do the most learning, because you're responsible for it. And in a way, when you're doing any kind of training, you're in a very comfortable kind of cotton wool environment, And when you're out in the real world, no one gives a fuck. My biggest mistake was trying to make money at it, actually. That was because I started to pretty much refuse to do stuff unless I was going to get something. And lo and behold, all the offers dried up in next to fucking no time. So don't be jealous, Painbow. I'll be your life coach, as now I have to respect you. We're in this together, son. Well, I'll get onto the movie. I'll get onto the boring shit, because I want to make you wait for the juicy stuff. What's cracking? Hopefully the sound of your wallet, because you want to spin the fucking wheel, son. £10 only. Super chat or donation. Let me actually check. I need to, I need to check. I haven't even given up on the Rockstar thing anyway. I've got an album in me. I just need to steal loads of music. That's the new thing, isn't it? You just remix shit and put your own lyrics on it. And then everyone thinks you're a genius. So, not much to mention on this segment. But as I've stated, I will watch. Thankfully, we're at the fucking middle mark of this series. I'm not impressed overall. I think I made that abundantly clear last week. Maybe a tad aggressively, but I was pissed. I was fucking pissed off with that. absolute fucking shite that they put out. A fun bit of trivia: apparently Nick Pizzolatto, the writer of the original, who had involvement in season 2 and 3, has been a little bit vocal about Night Country and said that he thinks it's shit, essentially, or he said he doesn't think he doesn't like it, and he absolves all kind of responsibility for it, despite being an executive producer, I believe. But yeah, he had no input into the story, and he laughed when someone mentioned how the Tuttle family has been referenced in this season, which is a big component of the first season, the one and only season, really. Which, you know, I mean, in fairness to Issa Lopez, she kind of said, well, he's within his rights to say what he wants and all this kind of stuff. But I kind of feel like she probably contractually needs to say this, because she's clearly taken... I mean, in all honesty, I feel like this season is fan fiction. That's all I can really... If I was going to describe it as anything, it's fucking True Detective fan fiction. Because it uses loads of references from the first season without seemingly connecting them that much. Maybe that will change by the time it gets to the end. I have heard through my research that the last 2 episodes are apparently out of this world. But that might just be because the first 4 fucking sucked. I don't know. But with the 3rd episode, I mean, at least it did start to actually generate a plot a bit. It kind of felt like that should have been the first episode. Instead, never mind all this fucking set up the scene and let's get to know these characters, because there's nothing to know apart from Jodie Foster loves cock, like any cock, quick cock. You know, she's like, she dines on that shit as if there was a McDonald's and a Burger King and a Taco Bell and a Wendy's and all that. But the cock version, that's Jodie Foster's diet in this film, in this series. When really, if I say film, because if there was going to be one where they should have done that, it was Silence of the Lambs, when she was actually half fuckable. Nowadays, it's grim. The boxer turned actress or whatever, fine. I mean, there's bits in it which are kind of similar to the first one, at least in the aesthetic, where they're, you know, driving to the next scene and all this stuff, and they start talking about things, but it's got this modern take where they're talking about things like fucking Tinder, and I'm just like, what? Why would you put this in? What are you thinking? Like, who gives a fuck about you trying to hook up when you're... Well, I don't even know when they're supposed to hook up, because apparently they're so dedicated to their jobs that they don't do anything else. It's just like on the odd 5 minutes they can get some dick. That's like, it's not relevant. That's the reason I bring it up. It's like perplexing to hear it when you're watching the show. And yeah, the way that they're detectoring, let's say, is a bit meh. I'm not really... It's like, it's okay. It's all right. Like, at least like it was getting on with it, it felt to me. And there's a couple of things that are interesting. There's some real moments of it where you can kind of tell, like, oh, we need this character alone with this person. Let's create a riot, but only one of the police officers will go, even though they're partners. Doesn't really make sense. But yeah, the plot needs it, so it happens. And yeah, overall, and there was one other bit where I think the black chick who they're trying to make out as if she's like Native American or whatever, she knows where to go because she recognizes the shade of blue in another girl's hair, and that is how she connects it to this fucking hairdresser. And she's convinced just by this shade of blue. Like, and it's kind of fine, but it's also kind of funny because it's almost like something say. It's like the writer's thinking, yeah, see, women notice stuff. We can pick up on these things. We notice when someone's dyed their hair fucking electric blue. Fuck you. Like, I don't really get why that would be a thing in the show. But it's kind of fine. It's just more... when they sit down and chat, and like when it tries to be philosophical, it's just like, yeah, it's just empty. It's so empty, and I find myself bored. I want more dead people in it. I want some explosions or some shit. I'd like, you know, it's got this supernatural thing that they keep teasing all the time. And in fairness to Lopez and the show, it does seem to be going more down the kind of, is this person actually just mentally unwell and like an unreliable narrator kind of thing. Obviously nowhere near in the Russ Cole capacity, because it hasn't made it, you know, it kind of set it up as if like, oh no, this is actually a reality of the world we're in, whereas now it seems to be kind of backtracking on that a bit. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm intrigued, but I'm far from impressed by this series. I would actually say, if it carries on down this vein, it's the worst season. Never, like, season 2 looks pretty fucking good compared to this shit. So well, yeah, good luck. I think she's well, she ain't tapping up fucking dudes anymore. Just on this show, apparently she can't get enough of it. But no, it's not. It's not. Well, I wouldn't even. I've never really watched it, but it's not like Twin Peaks. No, I mean, one of the main issues with the show is that the characters, and I find this with a lot of female-driven series. It's almost as if like they think being aggressive or overly masculine or a dick, basically, not a dick to suck on, but just being a dick, is what a character should be. Like, that's all it needs to be. As if you're a woman, and they negate the fact that, you know, Russ Cole and Marty, they had backstories, they had flaws, they had different elements to their characters that made them fucking human. And I mean, Russ Cole was very charismatic with his arguments as well. He clearly was well read and had debated and considered philosophical arguments quite a lot. Whereas in this show, it just kind of tries to dish them out in these very tidbit kind of fortune cookie ways, where it's not really worth it. A lot of the guy characters seem to be overly obsessed with them for no fucking reason as well. I mean, I get it that they're in a small town that's probably got a population of about, I don't know, 2,000 at most. So there isn't a lot of pussy to fucking tap up. But at the same time, I mean, talk about simps are us. I mean, they literally, like, there's one dude who he agrees to do something for the fucking metal face chick, and the only thing he wants in return is to ask her about her past because she's so closed up. And it's like, who is this faggot? Like, why would he fucking ask that? Like, why does he give a shit? I don't understand why he cares about this person, nor do why he's so much of a bitch, like, and so submissive and just like a simp, basically. Proper, like, it just is irritating to see every dude like this, where it's like, what, I don't get. There's no reason why he would act in such a way. So, yeah, haven't been impressed. I think all of the positive reviews of that show have been like, I don't know. Maybe I think there's this fear of being critical of anything that's like female led or whatever, or at least like woke, representative, all this kind of stuff. Because one of the daughters is a lesbian, of course, and she's. I really feel. I think I mentioned this last week, but I really feel it's taking the kind of gender politics element and feeding it through a Native American identity, and it's just using the Native American, funnily enough, as a way to talk about being a dyke in this area and all this kind of stuff. And it's just a bit like, you ain't fooling me, that kind of thing. Oh dear. Boom. £20 or €20. Thank you very much. Well, let's do it. Even I'm rooting for you. I'm not, well, not, yeah, on Pornhub they do. I'm not sure you've met any lesbians in real life. They're fucking horrendous. In general, I would say. I'll go out on a whim here. And most lesbians I've met are cunts. They fucking hate men. And there's something, their attitude a lot of the time is awful. Not a fan, to be honest. There are the occasional ones who are fine, obviously. But I don't get, why don't you ever see that in these series? It's like, you know, these butch queer women who clearly, who have no shame about hating men. That would be far more refreshing to see, where they actually just spoke about men as if they were pieces of shit. It's like, okay, if that's relevant and her arc makes her actually realise that seeing the world in such a light is detrimental to their well-being and experience and things like that, then yeah, you've got a fucking decentish plot there, or at least an arc. But you don't see that. I love munching carpet. Me, can't get enough of it. I will in a while probably, but I'm going to go for at least a few weeks with this. But in a way, I've always wanted to only smoke occasionally, which is a very naive way to look at it, admittedly. But yeah, the benefits from vaping instead is it's better. You can tell it doesn't do anywhere near as much damage. It doesn't look as cool, I'll admit that, and it isn't as good either. But no, he ain't getting too. Why, have you donated yet? Let me see what's going on here. I've had no updates, so you ain't getting a spin. All right, let's go. Let me see if. Oh wait. Yeah, no, I haven't had any updates. So it's one spin. Oh wait, I need to change this because otherwise I will forget. What would it be? About 14. Oh, that's easy. So that should be. Thank you, all of you, by the way. It's actually very nice. You've taken me by surprise with this. I should have introduced gambling a lot earlier. Let's go. Oh, fuck's sake. This fucking rigged wheel. Okay, you can recommend a film for review. You're second in line, though. That's the only, disclaimer, I guess, with that. Because, as you've been watching, yeah, you get to recommend a movie. I'm not going to say anything, you know. Maybe by chance you'll actually mention the one that I'm working on. It's a fucking. I looked up how many movies there's been made, like officially made, because obviously they don't know. But it's about 500,000, which I was surprised it wasn't. It was, but these are ones which were actually released, you know, in cinemas and distributed and stuff. If you counted the rest of the crap that got made, it's probably in the millions, you know. But yeah, there's a very small chance that you'll ask me to fucking review one that I've got in the list, at least. No, Nick, you got to get with the program, mate. If you want a chance, whip that wallet out, son. I'm talking like chemically speaking. It's sort of far less than. I mean, you're young, so you won't have felt the effects as much. But smoking literally attacks all of your organs, not just the lungs, you know, and your circulation as well. Whereas I've already noticed a difference just from doing this for 5 days. So it's as if I've quit in a sense, but I'm still getting that nicotine, that sweet, sweet fucking nicotine. But you know, maybe in a couple a couple of weeks I'll probably be sitting there chaining fucking cigarettes again. But oh, I'm getting sent fucking. I'm getting sent evidence of how much someone has. It's fine. You don't need to prove anything to me. I believe you. You're not going to get a free spin. Have we had the film yet? I think he's considering his options. What's the time? 9 o'clock. Okay, we're all right for time. If anyone else wants to, you know, the spin the wheel's waiting. It wants to be spun. You know, you don't want to tease it. What I need to do actually is get some sort of dancing girl. Actually, I reckon if I had one on the side here, never mind Lane, I'll get some like Playboy model doing a little twirl and shit. That'll make you donate, because I know deep down you're a bunch of simps. I'm just feeding you, doing what I can do, you know, doing God's work. Yeah, there are benefits to it for sure. I mean, it's nice that my fucking hands aren't stained and the room doesn't stink and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know. It does need a spin, doesn't it? It's too difficult, man. Too difficult. If I knew how to make one myself, yeah, I'd be doing all of that shit. But for some weird reason, there isn't one out there that you can just download that has all of these little tricks, which I don't get. Or there are ones out there, but only as apps. Yeah, trickier than I want it. Maybe I'll put a little song on it or something, and then maybe I can figure out how to. Yeah. Have we had the film yet? I don't think so. Just checking what's going on. I mean, I feel like the people want to spin the wheel, and yet. The green elephant. Okay. I think I might have heard of this actually. Let me have a look. This is recent? It's a Russian film. All right. The Green Elephant is a 1999 Russian psychedelic exploitation horror film directed by Svetlana Baskova. The movie received a limited theatrical release in Russia as the film's violent imagery and graphic language made it unfit for being distributed through the mainstream film circuit. Sounds all right. All right, yeah, I'll add that to the list. Again, I'm not too excited about this one either, to be honest. But you know, you won the spin. I'm not gonna back out on it. Fucking wheels going against me, which is another reason why it's a good time to donate. It's a great poster, that. Oh, it's only 87 minutes, so that's something, I guess. But yeah, the image I'm seeing is of two fat guys covered in blood, and one of them is feeding what looks like a phallic. It's not a cock, but it might as well be a very thick, girthy, monstrous kind of cock. But it's fleshy, almost like it's inside out. Jesus. I mean, at least this is like. I feel like I'm getting to know you lot, and thank fuck I'm behind a screen. That's all I can say. But yeah, thank you. Congrats. I guess for 30 odd euros, we've both won out of this deal. Well, Anya is free to fucking say no. That's the problem. But I can see. I've watched fucked up movies. I'm sure. I doubt it's going to shock me in any way. I just hope it's good. It doesn't look like it's good from the reviews I'm seeing. But then that doesn't really mean anything these days because people have awful taste. So. It's a classic. You're trying to sell me on this movie. All right, well, yeah, I'll watch it. I mean, I'm going to review it. Although, actually, the statement is recommend a film for review. I'm not actually making any promises that I'm going to review it. But, especially, I mean, if it's as fucking graphic as you're saying, then it might be really difficult to actually fucking feature. I bet there's probably some reviews on it on YouTube already, I would have thought. There's always some degenerate fucking arsehole out there. GC mckay wannabe. Let's have a look. The Green Elephant review 3 years ago. Yeah, there's a few. None of which actually look like they're featuring the movie. God, it looks well low budget as well. Like, okay. In fairness, maybe there'll be some interest in this. Oddly enough. Can't wait. Can't wait. All right, Hawk, do you want to donate, mate? Because then we can move on to Incel My Ride. And when are you going to come on the stream, by the way? We're going to find you a woman. I've got the perfect fucking solution to your incel-esque problem. And I mean, if you really don't want to come on the show, we could still do it regardless. But I feel like it would be better if you were present because it's quite interactive. And I'm sure everyone here would love to see your pretty little face. So, Leviathan, I've seen that film. Can't tell you much about it, but I have seen it. And I thought it was pretty good at the time. Is it a prank? How fucking dare you? No, I mean, it's a bit of a long game kind of thing. You'd have to be patient with it. But good things come to those who wait, my friend. The problem you have is that you just go from date to date to date, and you know, you're kind of like a Don Juan, but one who, or a Casanova type, but one who never actually gets any puss. So, you know, that's what I'm trying to help. I think I'm remembering it a bit more now. It's fucking depressing. As is as is the go-to emotion when it comes to Russian movies. Or even Russian literature, Russian art in general, depressing. Like, if there's any guarantee, depressing as fuck. But yeah, I remember it's based in a quite remote area of Russia, if I remember correctly. And yeah, very desolate, fucking freezing. I think it's like near Siberia or something, right? So I can't remember. It's ages ago. I can't really remember why I watched it. I think probably I heard some good things. And there was a film actually the other day that I was thinking of, that it was a Chekhov, or it was based on a Chekhov piece, and it was a Turkish film. And I believe the director came out with something fresh recently, because I couldn't remember the title of it, and I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to find that movie. It's a long ass film as well. It's like 3.5, 4 hours or something. Winter Sleep, it's called. The one that I've seen. Good, really good film. I would recommend it, especially if you're in the mood for something, long, let's say, but also just nicely paced, and it's kind of more It's almost like you're a fly on the wall kind of thing, and you're just seeing this kind of progression, and there's no, it's not action based. It's kind of, I guess it could be kind of like watching a play, if watching a play wasn't so fucking boring. It's actually more of a, a view into these people's lives in this kind of obscure area of the world. Quite true to life, I guess, or as much as you can be. And yeah, that director has come out with something new, and for some fucking reason, I just realised that was likely to be him, because it said, it's based in Turkey, and I thought, I literally have no idea of any other directors. So when I looked at their other films, that's when I actually found it again. So. There you go. There you go. Patrick knows his shit. It is actually a really fucking good movie. I'd actually like to see it again. And it's one of those. I can't even really remember what it's about, but I remember being very entranced by it, and just the delicacy of how delicacy. It's weird. It's a delicate film, or at least like the way it unfolds, but the character arcs and stuff like that are just very true to life. It's very unique type of film. And if you haven't seen Drive My Car yet, then, which is also based off of I think, is it Uncle Vanya? Might be getting that wrong, but yeah, again, a Chekhov play. That's a fucking phenomenal film. Like, forget Parasite, I mean, in Parasite, it's pretty decent, but it's still very mainstream. really. But yeah, Drive My Car was a masterpiece, really. I didn't realize you were a simp. Zara Simpstra. I don't know where you moved to, but you clearly didn't move to fucking England. If we want, we can rate like nations, women. They even have chants here in the, I think when Sweden played England. Where the Swedes had a chant that basically slagged off our women, British women. Can't remember what it was. And in retort, we were saying, "You're shit, but your birds are fit. You're shit, but your birds." So we even acknowledged the fact that British women are fucking ugly. and we're saying of their women, like, yeah, you did all right there. So, do you mean closeted gay Russians? There, that's the spirit. I knew. I just have to tickle your balls for fucking like an hour. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where the. Did he say he went to fucking, I don't know, Sweden or wherever it is, Finland? I mean, not being funny, mate, but I mean, they're not exactly far removed, are they? You can't go on about like, oh, all women are hot when they're on the border. Yeah, I mean, the reason, like, the only like hot British women are literally all famous. You know, that's how rare they are. Yeah, Elizabeth Hurley in that fucking Bedazzled. I swear that spawned many a fucking perversion in me. That film is fucking awful as well. But it's just literally that movie is like, let's make Elizabeth Hurley in her prime wear the most ridiculous outfits and dresses, and that's it. Like, that's the plot of that film. Done. All right. Well, I need confirmation with you. Like, everything's a bit trickier. I might be informed soon enough. It looks like it. Okay. £12. Good boy. I mean, a little bit cheap, but you've gone over the threshold. So I'm impressed. In the future, I'll get Anya to actually spin a wheel in the background. Or maybe we could have. How could that work? Yeah, I'm coming up with ideas here, which basically involves prostituting. Well, not quite. It would be more exploiting. Yeah, I don't know. It would be in a very romantic and endearing, positive kind of way, you know. Amelia fucking who? Dwedenberg. I don't even know who that is. I'm assuming it's a German. No, I'm just thinking, yeah, I was talking about getting a showgirl. Just to, you know, in the way the casinos will glam it up and make it seem like this like great experience because they've got some hot chick spinning the roulette wheel. That's what I'm thinking. But alas, we don't have the budget for that just yet. All right, this is for you, Hawky boy. You better not win a fucking book. I'll be pissed. You get to choose a prize for the wheel. It's not a bad fucking. Every one of them has been easy. Like you've been lucking out. Tonight is the night to get on the fucking spin the wheel. To be honest. All right, I need to check out who this Amelia fucking chick is. With a surname like that, she ain't fucking British by descent. A comedian and present. No, it's not her. What's the name? Showgirls. Oh yeah, maybe I will finally give it a watch. Maybe that might give me some ideas. Where the fuck's the name gone? Dweedenberg. Oh, that should do it. Have you spelt this correctly? Because it doesn't fucking look like it. Let me have another look. Too many. Did those comments get deleted or something? Doldenberg. Do you mean De Moldenberg? Is this the correct spelling? Because Google's not giving me anything. Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's the one. Really? Fuck, you got some basic ass taste, mate, my friend. Are you taking the piss? I mean, I don't want to like say she's awful. I'm gonna have to get her up on stream for this because we need a serious chat. I mean, I'm trying to get a photo that is half decent and yet demonstrating my point at the same time. So I'm trying to be fair. Maybe. Alright, I'm not gonna be fair. The fuck? I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure this will work anyway. Okay, yeah, this should work. Right, okay, we need to discuss this because I'm flabbergasted. You like her persona? Oh, it's all about the personality, is it? We were supposed to be talking about. All right, there's one photo. She looks all right, but I'm not being funny, mate. I mean, come on. She's pretty basic. I mean. Alright, let me show you what I mean. Right, so apparently this is an example of a beautiful British woman, right? That's what we're going for here. Okay, too big. That's what she said. I mean, put me in a dress and I'm thinking I'm going to pull more than her. Am I wrong? I mean, to give an example of a beautiful British woman, Yeah, well, I was just thinking the same actually. Oh yeah, Hawk, you need to give me your. No, you get to pick like as the fucking wheel said. You get to choose a prize to be added to the wheel, basically. So it can be anything you want within reason, obviously. She kind of looks like me. Well, I don't. I really don't think so, personally. I mean, she's not hideous, but she certainly doesn't. She's not. She's not exactly Helen Bonham Carter in her fucking prime. What? You're not telling me she's like your average fucking chick you'd see out on a Friday night getting pissed or whatever. That's what she looks like. Deary me, of all the fucking women. I mean that one's, none of them are particularly flattering. If I'm honest, she actually kind of looks better without makeup, or well, light makeup, let's say. I'm sure she has a wonderful personality. Exactly, yeah. Basically, you're like you mentioned earlier. You're a closet homo. That's what. That's what. That's what we've discovered here. So the women you like are actually like trans women. You like chicks with dicks, which is probably just a cope for just wanting the cock. If that's what you want, then go for it. She interviewed some Premier League players. Is that what got you off on it? I mean, you could have mentioned Laura Wood. At least she's got some sex appeal. She's a comedian and presenter. I don't know what to say. We're going to have to get into Incel My Ride because you've put me in the mood for some incel fucking bashing. Of course you see it. You'd fuck anything with half a pulse. So she's all over YouTube. Your splooge is all over her fucking profile pics, I bet. But Normie Charming. Yeah, I think Fireball's bringing in a bit of rationality to this. I agree. She's all right. But, I mean, to be honest, nah. It's a hard pass from me. I'm sure she's lovely, but, As an example of, like, fucking a beautiful British woman, do me a favour. Fucking you lot need to, like, really have a... When you see a chick, you've got to look past the makeup, assuming they're wearing a lot of it, which normally they are. It's an illusion. It's a mirage. You got to look past that shit. Trust me. Fuck me. The standards of you lot. Makes me fucking worried about what you must look like. Oh, well, yeah. And the charm and intellect, I'll bet. maybe I'll give one of her interviews, which you can recommend an interview that when did you fall in love with her? Was she interviewing like Marcus Rashford or something? Anyway, we're going to get on to Incel My Ride, otherwise I'm going to fucking be here all night. So, yeah. Got a bit... Oh, not enough wine. It's expensive streaming for you lot. If you look deep enough past the makeup, 99% of what you call 5 or 6. So yeah, in the end, it really is all about personality. I mean, I think you're after the makeup, she is not a 5 or 6. Sorry. At best, she's a 3. I'm taking everything in here. I'm not even. Maybe she's got a wicked personality. You know, that could bump her up a point or two. Sure, but she dresses as if she thinks she's like hot shit. So that puts me off immediately. Because you know your fucking limits. I don't know. I mean, women in general will just get more points. Fucking hell, I'm definitely preparing for Incel My Ride. That's the thing. I'm getting into... This is method acting. Nah, I mean, I guess for 30, she looks alright-ish. You know, not bad. But, nah. The body type has a propensity towards fatness, which I could definitely see happening in 10 years. And yeah, just in general, she's just average. You know, 4. I'd give her a 4. But again, like I'm being harsher because this is supposedly an example of a stunning, fucking beautiful British woman. And just as an example, I will show you one. Alright, so I won't be too biased with this. Alright, I don't even know how old she's supposed to be in this, but okay, I'll put her 30 years old just to match it. And I'm going to assume that what I'm Googling is correct. Alright? Which I really don't know whether is the case, to be honest, but... she looks too young there, but fucking whatever. She's not going to age that much in 10 years, I guess. Alright, let's go. This'll do for my example. Right, okay, so we'll go, this chick, right, who Zarathustra thinks is, you know, the best of the best when it comes to British women. Whereas I will put this woman in front. Tell me who is better looking. I mean, it's not even a competition. This is ridiculous. I'll make these smaller, so... What are you talking about? You got horse face over here with the thousand cock stare, or you've got English rose purity. I mean, maybe this is actually like a change in men's preferences over the years because of porn. Because you're all looking for that fucking cocksucker look which admittedly Blondie has. She looks like she's sucked away to the top, let's say, whereas Carter actually looks like a human being. So Amelia all day, all night. You fucking kidding? You're taking the piss. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to donate just to get away with this fucking outrage. What are you talking about? I might even have to just get another example here because you're pissing me off. There can't be that much difference in our taste. That's what's bothering me. All right, I'll put a generous one, maybe. All right, this will this work? Might not work. Bitch, didn't fucking work. In fact, even Helena Bonham Carter now shits on your woman. But yeah, I'm gonna, instead of fucking dwelling on this bullshit, I'm gonna give this up. I'm disgusted. You guys just want to fuck a child. Yeah, and you want to fuck a dude. Let's face it. Carter is a terrible example. No, she isn't. In this scenario, most definitely not. Alright, yeah, but I know this is fucking iffy, isn't it? Or whatever her fucking name is. Oh no, it's that chick from Maze Runner. I've gotta disagree with you on this. To be honest, I mean she's certainly better than Blondie, but nah. Average, better. I'd say she's a 6. Well, great choice on the latter. Yeah, case in point. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is exactly what I was saying. She's got the 1,000-cock stare. So you want to sleep with a prostitute, basically, a whore, like a proper whore. But you know, there's way better out there. Oh well, thank you for your contribution, Valenciaga. Well observed. But admittedly, I mean, the time this was taken was probably quite a while ago, during or for a film set in such a time. Whereas this is your average hoe on Tinder. What are you talking about? She's got fucking 3 kids by 3 different dads. That's all I'm seeing. Lockjaw from the amount of cock she's taken. I don't know, you know, horse face. And this is like Carter, you know, natural, pretty much. I'm not seeing a lot of makeup here. Maybe a tiny bit of fucking powder, but nah. Fucking, what is wrong with you lot? I mean, I could pick up, I know better porn stars than that blonde. Jesus. That's another good point. Fireball firing with the rationality here. I mean, admittedly, that would actually kind of, yeah, put me off slightly. Is she Effie, really? Wow, she aged badly. No, she's not Effie from the fucking... Is she really? Nah, fuck off. Is it from Skins? When you type this in Google, it says Kaya Scodrilario or Scodrilario child. Let's look at her as a kid before she hit the wall. Or maybe it means her actual kid. I don't know. Wow, she hit the wall hard. That's what I mean. The tragedy of nowadays is like girls who hit their prime at like 15 don't even get to experience or even take advantage of that without fucking a bunch of adults claiming rape. It's tragic. Boomers had more fun than you lot. That's the true tragedy. She was very attractive in Fight Club. Although again, I'd side with Toostra on that. That it was the character that kind of made her appealing. In real life, she's probably just a conservative little cunt. So, you know. Anyway, I'm going to go for a piss and then we're going to incel our way out of here. No donations. The wheel is waiting. I'll leave it. I'll leave it up. You know. Well, I won't leave it up because then you actually just read all the fucking answers. But it's there. Wink, wink. I'll see you in a minute. Alright, let's get on with this because I'm running late anyway. Tango with the turds. Tango's looking for a banning. You better donate or fucking get the fuck out of it. That's your only option. Yes. See, I'm being accused of overlooking a particular gorgeous girl, which I don't think is true. So, you know. We'll move on. We'll move on. No donations. I mean, you lot are just unreal. Tango, you seem Did you watch The Curse? Oh, I need to talk to someone who fucking saw the ending of that show, because fucking brilliant ending. All right, we're going. Well, Tango's not. You know, I don't really understand why you're capitalizing every fucking word you're saying, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Right, so we're going to go traditional with the first one.
And I've gotten to a point where I don't believe in love anymore.
So, quite the intro. Yeah, this is I'm 23 and have never had a girlfriend by Mari. And, well, I mean, the first thing I want to pick up on is the fact that he's got a kind of sneak peek into his depressing video, which I don't want to lol at it, but it is somewhat humorous. Mainly because it's like, you make the video and it's like talking about fucking serious shit, I guess, you know. This is like a serious matter, something you want to address, get off your chest and all of that. But it's not, by doing this, it's not, it's not spontaneous. It means you've actually recorded it, then gone back and then thought, okay, how do I hook people? So it's already got an element of like theatre about it, you know. Maybe I'm looking into it too much. But that's the impression it gives. And also, if you're going to do something in black and white at the beginning, you don't need to put text saying later in the video. It's kind of a given, especially if it's quick, you know, just as a heads up.
Maybe it's possible for some people, but maybe it's not possible for me. It's not possible for people that are... I'm 23 years old. I'm pretty decent looking, I guess. I used to think maybe I'm ugly or something, but after the comments I received on my previous video and how many people pointed it out, I guess I'm decent looking, I guess. Like, I'm kind of handsome. That's what people said. I don't know.
I'd say you're, yeah, decent looking guy.
I'm relatively fit, just a young dude. And I've never had a girlfriend. I've never been close with a girl. And it's a really strange feeling because I always think to myself, like, what have I done wrong? What do I do wrong? Like, I don't understand what I do wrong. It never seems to work out. Growing up as a kid, I was really shy. I had behavioral issues as a little kid, so people thought I was weird. But then I got normal over time. Middle school, I was an average, just a good kid. And that was probably me at my best socially. In middle school, I had a lot of friends, and I had a girlfriend in middle school. She came up to talk to me, and I was always too scared and nervous.
Wait, how old is middle school for the Americans watching? Tell me, because I'm not sure. You're an interesting cat. I will say that much. Yeah, if anyone can tell me how old middle school is, then I'd appreciate it. I could look it up, but you know, this is supposed to be interactive.
Really hang out with her and make a move. So that relationship never went anywhere. So I never got my first kiss or anything. High school went by. Things started getting really weird. Like, people mature. There starts being all these like social games, and you have to be able to read these social cues. And I didn't know how to do any of that. So I was single all throughout high school. After high school, I was employed at a job where you don't really talk to people. Then I went through periods of unemployment, and I dropped out of college as well. So I've just never really had the opportunity to be around many women, I guess, in like personal situations. I recently went back to school like about a year ago, and my social skills have improved a lot. I've improved a lot of my anxiety, thanks to like trips that I made, and just pushing myself outside my comfort zone and stuff. So I went back to school, and I'm like, I'm gonna get my first girlfriend. And my experience that I was talking to girls, and I find it really hard to get close to anyone. Like, my social skills are bad. Women will think I'm kind of weird. So then I just back off, because that's the last thing I ever want to do.
I mean, it kind of gives the impression that, I mean, I don't really know what you would define as normal in general, to give a kind of teenage answer. Yeah, whenever I hear guys talking about fucking social anxiety and whatnot, I just think, dude, just you don't want to ever acknowledge something like that, not publicly. It's just not the done thing. There's a lot underappreciated from the tight-lipped generation of, say, my father's generation, and where men generally would shut the fuck up. And the problem is these days is because we're in a more gynocentric society, especially in terms of the West, when it comes to America and the UK and a lot of Europe, it's far more female centric. Therefore, there's a therapy culture out there, which is very akin to mystical nonsense to do with manifestation and whatnot. I won't get into that, but no matter how many women tell you that you should open up and whatnot, if they're only friends or if they're people on the internet and things like that, don't ever fucking listen to that. That's just not true at all. It's fine to be vulnerable, and it's even admirable what you're doing in a sense. I do still think that there's room for nuance, let's say, where, yeah, you can take it on a certain value, but you can also look at it from another one, which I will get onto. But in general, I mean, it's sad if you don't have guys that you can actually open up to, but for the most part, as, yeah, being a guy, that's just not something that's going to happen in general. You might get lucky and have a couple of friends here and there where you can actually open up, but yeah, as you already have known for most of your life, you're alone. And that doesn't make you fucking weird. It doesn't make you anything less at all. It's just the reality of the situation. And adapting to that is probably the trickiest part. Especially doing so and not becoming, yeah, a fucking sociopath, basically. But
and it just doesn't really work out. Or a girl has a boyfriend or something else. It just doesn't work out. And it's like that, plus everything that happened in the past, and I kind of just give up on the idea. I get so fucking depressed. Like, my heart breaks. And I realize something's like, is something wrong with me? What is it? Why have I never had a girlfriend? Like, what is wrong with me in particular? Why did I have to struggle with all this while there's other guys that, like, it just happens for them. It seems like it's so natural. It's the easiest thing in the world. You just get in a relationship with someone else. But I've never been...
I mean, I'll admit that I don't know what this must be like, to be honest. I mean, yeah, had the same kind of anxious feelings and desires and all that kind of stuff, but that kind of came around when I was 16, and it was, or even 15 and whatnot, and yeah, that's the kind of time I actually, yeah, did something about it. But I do appreciate the fact that I was from a very different generation. I mean, it's kind of weird to say that I was, because, you know, as a millennial, you know, I'm only one above Gen Zers, but yeah, the social climate and change that has happened is, I would argue, never bigger than it is actually. You know, human history wise, it's been quite phenomenal, in many negative respects. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult. I can imagine, yeah, the good-looking guys, or the ones, the fucking Chad white guys, jocks and whatnot. They're probably just laughing at the amount of girls who are going for them, especially at younger ages, because never has it more been about social status. I would have thought at that age, when you've got things like social media, because they're almost like a extension of that whole bullshit high school nonsense. And yeah, it's pretty fucking tragic, I have to say.
Intimate with anyone. It's a really strange thing. Like, I always ask myself, what did I do wrong? Is something wrong with me? I don't know what it is. In one of my classes this semester, there's a girl that I like, right? I've gone to talk to her a few times, and like, she showed a lot of signs that she might like me back. She's gone back to talk to me and stuff. But then nothing came out of it, because then I got too scared to like make a deeper move, and now I feel like it would just be weird, so I'm not going to. Now I get this feeling that like love isn't real.
Just acknowledging this comment.
I just want to give up on it. 'Cause it's just so much pain all the time. I feel like I'm never gonna have that. I think one of the main things that I would love in my life, though, and that I really want, is just to feel an intimate relationship with someone. Like, that'd be a really big positive. And I don't want to be like a weirdo about it, like, I want a fucking girl. Like, no, but I really want to know what it's like to be intimate and close with someone and feel a sense of belonging. And just have a relationship, because having a relationship with someone, right, a romantic relationship, is one of the main pillars of life. Like, that's what every human kind of wants in some way, right? Unless you're asexual. Like, it's a very important thing. Our job is like to produce, right? And like be in these relationships, deep, meaningful relationships. It's like a big.
Well, I mean, as we've kind of alluded to, if you want some kind of a fucking advice, you're obviously from South America by your genetics and whatnot, but being in America, you got no benefit basically. If you want to get something like that, there is a trade-off basically, which is a grim way of looking at it, I suppose. But if you want to appeal to more women, you need to take a bit of a fucking risk. Maybe doing this is your idea of it. I can't. It's to me, looking at these vids. I was going to bring this up later, but I kind of feel like this dude actually has inspired quite a lot of people, men especially, to make vids like this, and maybe even unbeknownst to them anyway. But this guy came out with a fucking video quite a long time back about his experience of being ugly, and it went viral and all of this kind of stuff. And then recently he married this chick who obviously, I mean, really, this kind of dude should be slaying this kind of chick. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of given, I guess, as an example of like, oh yeah, it can happen for anyone and all this kind of stuff. But who knows? The cynical part of me would say she's doing it for a, green card or visa or whatever. Because he's from Sweden, I believe, and she's from Mexico, somewhere like that. And yeah, I mean, I just kind of think like maybe he has inspired a lot of guys to make these types of vids because there's a kind of underlying desire to find some sort of unicorn, let's say, some magical woman out there who will basically take pity on you, and maybe something can escalate from there. And yeah, there's a chance of that, but I don't think it's ever going to pave the way to a relationship that you're actually desirous of, because there is usually a power play in relationships. I think the target is to get one where it's 50-50, or as much as it can be. Like, you dominate certain areas, she dominates the others, and there's a good balance. Sadly, that's very difficult to find. But if you wanted to take advantage of your situation, you're a guy who has the Hispanic look, who can speak English, and you've got an accent that would be very appealing to many a Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, European woman in general. And because you have that instant mystical element, because you're from a completely different area, it gives you an advantage, and it doesn't matter what your past is. So my advice would be to fucking geomax, I suppose, essentially. Get the fuck out of where you are, if that's possible. But don't do it just because you're searching for puss. Do it because you want to explore a little bit, or even study, or just whatever. Get the fuck out of your area, because that could be the other issue. You might just be in an environment which doesn't cater to what you're after. And probably these kind of things occur a lot more these days because of the fact that we have the internet. You know, people have access to the lives of others, even if it is only through a screen, but it gives the impression of being multicultural without actually having to get off your ass. So get off your ass, I would say, would be potentially the best move you could make. Or better still, go to Asia and you look white enough for them to get wet. So, you know, win-win.
Part of it, like marriage, all that shit, you know? I'm not saying this what you're going to do necessarily, but it's a big part of humans in general, of us. And to have never been in a relationship, you've wondered, like, what the fuck is wrong with me? You know? I just wonder what I did wrong. I'm very anxious. I'm starting to get better about it now. Sometimes I get that doubt and insecurity that something's wrong with me, and then I get really fucking nervous and I don't talk anymore.
Thing is, you sound like a chick when you're saying this stuff. Don't. And I'm not actually criticizing you for saying it. We all feel this. And it's great that you're being open about it, but you don't want to be open about it on a social platform. Trust me. I mean, admittedly, yeah, it might work, but oddly enough, I think it will work more for the ugly dude, because everyone understands why he will feel like that. He doesn't even need to give you a sob story. Whereas for a guy like you, who is seen as someone, you know, normal, even, you know, fairly decent looking or whatever, you're going to get less sympathy, essentially. I mean, it sounds contradictory, but it's just, especially on face value, which is exactly what the screen is. Face value. That's all it can ever be. It doesn't matter what you say on it, because you're aware of being filmed, and the people watching you are aware of watching a film or video or whatever you want to call it.
And I've gotten to a point where I don't believe in love anymore. Maybe it's possible for some people, but maybe it's not possible for me. It's not possible for people that are kind of weird or just grew up different. Because I can't find myself relating to others in a deep way. And love is all about intimacy. And it's so hard for me to be close to anyone. And like, I don't know, I feel so fucking weird about it. I just don't believe in it. The whole concept of love to me, I'm talking about like romantic love. it's just so like dark. Something about it seems so dark and weird to me.
No, you're right. You're right. Of course, love encapsulates all. All is fair in love and war. All of that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's a reason that saying exists. It's because it brings out every fucking emotion imaginable, including the worst side of yourself, the best, the most confusing, and parts that you never knew were even fucking there. You've got all of these things, and I don't know, maybe even as I observed, you were doing stuff that sounded more feminine, and then you were saying, you know, man coping, saying like, oh, well, I don't think it exists and stuff. It's like, but a minute ago you were saying all you want is intimacy. So you've literally contradicted yourself straight away. That's fine, you know, but don't dismiss it just, you know, to try and seem more masculine. That's not being masculine. Just stick with what you said at the beginning. That's what you want, and that's that. And if you don't have that, it's okay to be fucking sad about it. That's when you need to take some sort of action, I suppose, or even, yeah, think about it more.
I don't know how to explain it, but like, I just don't believe in it. You grow up watching these TV shows, anime. I watch anime as well. These movies that have these really wholesome love stories, right? And you want to believe in that, like those fairy tales, but that shit isn't true, like at all. It's not true. Real life is weird. It's strange. Love is like, it's icky. I don't know how to explain it. I don't like how it is, how it works. As humans, we are weird, bro. I really don't like it. I don't know how to say it, but I just feel like giving up on love at this point.
It's gone from sounding 23 and slowly you're going down into like 15, 14. Maybe, and that can just be a pattern. I'm not saying that's what you're like, you know, regularly or whatever, but
up on the thought of ever being really close and intimate with someone. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. I just don't believe in it anymore. I get like really depressed about it. Also, dating apps suck. I've tried them. You can message a girl, they'll respond. If you're too boring, they'll quickly go away. Like, I just wish that life could be more like an anime or a TV show where it's just this wholesome, fun relationship with someone and you guys just get together and love each other despite your flaws. And it's like, I just don't feel that. I don't know.
I'm not sure what animes or TV shows he's watching, because most of those things will, yeah, the ending might have this moment of everything coming together, but during it, there's conflict, there's anxiety, there's one-upmanship, there's competitiveness, conflict in general, storytelling. Yeah, odd way to look. I mean, unless he's talking about hentai, then it's like, yeah, you just fuck, whatever. But I would recommend like moving away from the hentai or the anime in general. It's all right to watch it on occasion, but yeah, I mean,
I want to say, I kind of, the whole concept of love is fucked up. I don't know what to think anymore. I just feel hopeless. Like I'm never gonna be close to anyone. Like something's wrong with me. Even if that's not true, I feel that mentally. Like mentally I'm fucked up. I'm messed up. And that sucks. I hope someday I can feel normal, but it's really tough in that regards, I guess. So I kind of want to give up on love, but I know I shouldn't. I really want to. I kind of wish I'd never been interested in girls, that I wasn't interested in any of this. I wish I was asexual, and then I wouldn't have to worry about any of this. That'd be it.
I find that a really interesting comment in general. I think that encapsulates his whole generation, because it's all seen through a screen. It's all very message is the medium, or the medium is the message rather. It's the way people are relating things. I mean, this is true, you know, before the internet and before smartphones, but those things were like the double layer. So you'd have TV and cinema, and they influenced culture massively, advertisements and whatnot. But now you've got the extra layer of that. It's like the almost the representation of the representation. So you don't just have the film, you've got the clipped up review or summary version. You've got the memes. You've got the things that have a basically almost, it's not a hierarchy, but it's almost like a lens through a lens through a lens, which you're perceiving reality as. So it's like reading the fairy tale, then seeing the Disney film, then seeing the fucking pornographic parody version of it, then seeing a romantic fucking cinematic version. Like, the things you're feeling about love are kind of true. Like, it is fucking confusing because it's probably the one thing that's actually kept us fucking going overall, despite all of its flaws, despite all of the evil it wrought, actually, and the pain, the conflict, whatever. I mean, it's one of the. I mean, I would argue that the concept of love is as indescribable as consciousness or even existence itself. It feels more like, I don't know, if in older novels and whatnot, you'd probably put it to the soul, you know, something about this kind of essence that is, yeah, essentially something you cannot define because it encapsulates everything, which is very difficult to do if you're only doing it through a digital kind of lens. And yeah, I mean, I think that's the saddest part for it, for, you know, not just guys but just people in general. If everything's only felt through that, then it's no wonder you're all fucking anxious. It's like, because nothing's ever real. You're not getting that biological fucking response from people.
Amazing thing, but I like girls and I want to be close with someone. That would be cool. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Sorry, I need to see this. Did he mention how? Well, no, he didn't say what his height was. Yeah, okay, that's true. That's true. But as I said, I mean, even if he's a short guy, just go to the Philippines. They're all fucking midgets up there. The you know, atmosphere and whatnot. He'd be a giant over there. Yeah, essentially. But most of the power they use is just to fuck the 5% and get used and abused by them, and then they can take it out on dudes like this when he's 30 and working in some IT job. Possible. But maybe that's the inevitable thing when you can only see them from the outside. Plus, he's 23, so you got to give him the benefit of the doubt there. And I would also argue that if you don't get any relationships during your high school years and whatnot, I guess in a arrested development way, the way you view women from the age of 14, 15, if you don't experience an actual woman or girl in that time, it's going to basically stay the same. Like, you're not really going to have any. In fact, it probably gets worse because you don't actually have the reality of, like, oh yeah, they're a human being. They shit and fart and sweat and spit and have their own fucking, you know, human peccadillos, let's say. And well, I mean, yeah. Again, I kind of feel like I think this guy'd be fine. I'm not sure these kind of videos will help, but they probably will in a inadvertent way, I guess. Because essentially, he's kind of giving himself therapy. The more dangerous thing is that he's giving it to people that he can't see, and I feel potentially this is almost like what he would do if he was with a girl, which is probably the best place to do it. And as much as I might say you should never fucking open yourself up and all this kind of stuff, I only ever mean it in a fucking public space. You don't do this stuff in front of people. But if you're actually with someone you trust and whatnot, then, at least in my experience, most of the time that's fine. You know, this whole thing about women, they'll be put off by you if you cry in front of them. That's total bollocks. If they're into you. If they're not into you, or if you really go crazy or whatever, or over hysterical or whatever, then yeah, okay. But in general, if you show a bit of vulnerability, women love that shit. I don't know what you're talking about, but it's within a certain boundary, you know? Yeah, I mean we've all got these regrets. Don't you worry about that. I think I could have probably got laid at fucking 12 if I really wanted to. If I knew what I was fucking doing. But I actually think that was probably a good thing that I didn't, and I was probably lucky that I didn't meet some fucking older girl who was just going to take advantage, because that exists. Probably a lot more than people are willing to admit. But yeah, I think this guy would be fine. I'd be careful, and this probably goes for any of these dudes who are making these videos regularly. Don't get too trapped in the attention you get from this, because it isn't the intimacy that you're seeking. You're unloading, pun intended, I guess, a lot of pent up frustration, and it's fine to get it from a bunch of faceless strangers for a while, but it's never gonna fill that void. It's just another representation of it, I guess, feeling like you relate to, or other people, you know, feel the same way. That's all good, but once you get that, I'm not sure where you go from there, you know. Anyway, I'll save the best till last. I'm running late anyway, so let's. The next one is titled "Why You Should Never Have a Three-Way" by Horse Meat. This is it's a bit of a story, I guess. So let's go.
What's up, guys?
Sup?
Back home on winter break. I just made a TikTok about this on political tips. I'm taking a break from Instagram because Instagram's kind of like bending me over and having its way with me.
So, for one thing, in relation to the last guy, this guy is maxing it. He's going for that whole emo thing. At this age, for some reason, chicks dig this whole hair over the eye kind of thing. He might have even dyed his hair, but he's going for that whole black all over kind of look. Twinged with a bit of emo, you know. He's going for a certain demographic. Smart guy. That's what I mean. You got to play to your strengths, and he's doing it. Admittedly, he's a decent looking dude as well, but the other guy was as well. He just needs to, like, hone it in a little bit and start having some fucking attitude instead of being a pussy.
But I saw this video on Twitter where I've never been physically sick watching porn until I saw this video. So essentially I was scrolling through Twitter, right? I wasn't trying to stroke or anything. It just like came up. The video was it was basically titled "Why You Should Never Cuck." Like, you should never be a cuck. Don't even try it if you think you're interested. And then there was a Pornhub link. And if you guys want to see the video, I actually might drop the link in the Iron Crew Discord, because I can do that shit there, you know, to the video. Anyway, so the video opens up and it's a picture on Instagram of like a high school, no, not even high school, like middle school. Sorry, a little interruption. Almost got in a car accident. Anyway, as I was saying, so it was like a high school picture of them in like a relationship. It was like a girl and a guy, like skinny white dude, you know, normal looking white girl, and it was like a middle school picture. It then fast forwards to
Sync has connected your phone and is reminding you that 911 is.
The video starts where they're now in college, because the video title's like college.
Wait, Melissa's already wet, so just need just establishing. She's already in simp mode. She likes this guy. Which, in fairness, you know, at your age, if I was a chick, yeah.
The video title's like college cucking or some shit like that, and so they're now in college, right? And she's naked on the bed sucking off her boyfriend. So anyway, on this dude's face, as soon as it starts, you can already see he's like very like hesitant, you know. What I think happened is like they've been dating so long that the girl kind of was like, hey, like, would you be interested in like a it wasn't cucking per se. I think it started off as like a three-way and then became cucking. That was like the worst part. So he was already, literally, you can just see, like, it was dog shit quality too, like obviously shot in a shitty apartment, like on a dude's phone with like shit lighting, so you know it's like legitimate. And so basically she's sucking him off, right? But he's obviously like not very into it. He's like soft as shit. Now he's like looking behind her, because like you're looking at them from the side, right? So you can see him laying back and she's like sucking him off, basically on all fours, fully naked. They're both fully naked. Now this black dude walks in behind her and goes, hey bro, like, you want me to hop in? He's hard as shit already, right? Rock fucking hard. Now the dude doesn't even have a chance, the boyfriend doesn't even have a chance to respond, because the girl turns around immediately and goes, yeah, we want you to join in. Dude looks, oh my god, I was like, and you could just see his face, and I was like, oh, this is fucked up. Then the frame cuts, right? And the black dude's hitting it from the back while she's still trying to suck her boyfriend off, who is soft as shit, right? But she's getting fucked so fucking hard, right? So deep, because his penis is huge, his dick is fucking massive, that she's like she's going into shock. So she's
no, I would admit that my curiosity got the better of me, and I think I found the vid he's talking about. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just needed to clarify a couple of things. When he says that their Instagram is featured, that's true. The vid begins and you get this flash of their little like an Instagram post, and it's this couple, this white couple, look very generic American kind of type, but admittedly, or at least the first thing I'd say about that is like, why the fuck would you put that on a porn vid, for one thing? I don't know who's put this together, but it seems a bit sus. And then it cuts to the chick is blowing the guy But even before this black guy comes in, the guy doesn't seem to be too into it. It's almost like he knows that they're about to have this three-way. The devil's three-way, I will add. If it's two guys, one chick, the devil's three-way. And yeah, this dude doesn't seem to be up for the task, let's say. I'll let him carry on, because I think he's pretty much up to speed.
Getting fucked so hard and so like powerfully that she can't even continue to suck her boyfriend off because she can't use her arms anymore, and like her head is buried in the bed. The boyfriend starts looking around the room, like you could see the regret in his face. He starts trying to jack his dick, and like, bro, his like tears start welling up in his eyes, and he was like, I can't fucking do this. She's like moaning loud as she's like, hey guys, I can't get hard. They don't hear him at all because it's just the clapping, right? And he immediately is like, no, I can't do this. He starts crying, right? And then she just looks at him like rolls her eyes at him, right? They stop for a second, and then he's crying. Frame cuts again. He's sitting in the bed, tears still in his eyes. I guess she tried to convince him or some shit, and she's trying to suck him off again. The black dude's still destroying her. Dude's crying. He tries to put his clothes back on. He's like, guys, can we stop? But she's too distracted with the other dude that they don't even hear him. So now he's just standing there flaccid and crying while this dude is fucking his girl. It was supposed to be a three-way with his girl, I guess like 9 years or some ridiculous amount of time, like 6 years, and now he's just watching her get fucked. And I was like physically sick, dude. I was like, oh my god. And I guess the porn account who posted it was the big black dude. And so
I'll chime in here.
There's like 4 more minutes.
From what I skimmed through, I could definitely see how the whole thing could be bollocks. You know, you find an Instagram post and you claim it's these two, and maybe, yeah, the couple in question, it was like that, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, the white guy can't get hard, but even when he kind of semi does, I mean, he goes on about the black guy being massive. I thought the black guy was just like a bit above average, you know. When I think in the porn aspect, when you think of a black guy, he's like fucking, you know, like the size of your arm or whatever. No, he's just like a kind of just a bit above average. But it's more in the fact that the white guy can't. It's almost like his whole dick was like caving in to his foreskin or whatever, like a fucking turtle or whatever. Like it wasn't like he couldn't get hard. It was like literally like his cock was retreating into his balls, like going inward rather than anything else. He seemed like quite a small dude, and I guess the only thing I was thinking was, I reckon she's probably been irking this on for a while, mainly because this guy is small, which is probably the harshest element of it, because, yeah, I mean, any guy, if you've been with a number of women, or just in general, like if you hooked up with any type of chick at some point, if she's been with a guy who is small, she'll tell you about it. Basically, she'll be like, yeah, this guy was fucking, nothing was going on, like he was tiny, all that kind of thing. And I think with this girl, they were probably in love for a while, and through whatever reason, she always knew like this guy was like, he's packing nothing, and she's kind of convinced him to go along with this threesome idea. And maybe where the convenience is like it's a fucking black guy comes in and all this stuff. But I from what I saw, It's like, yeah, the guy had a decent cock, I guess, but kind of normal. In terms of the black guy standard, I would imagine he'd feel slightly insecure in terms of like, but compared to this white dude, yeah, of course, he's packing double figures or whatever, and it just goes on, and then she's getting just fucked by this guy, and yeah, the white dude just basically kind of cries in the corner. It's pretty grim to watch, but at the same time, I feel like he's slightly exaggerating the way it goes down, but the storytelling's pretty fucking good at the same time. So
it's of her just like barely giving her boyfriend any attention and just like fucking the dude. And I was just, and dude, it had 5 million views, and the comments were like, oh my god, dude, it was so fucked up. Like, I was like physically ill watching it, because like you could see the real reactions on the boyfriend's face, dude. It was just like, it was fucked up. It was fucked up. But at the same time, like, that is the perfect example of like, don't fucking do that shit, you know? Like, he put himself in that scenario. Like, I think he kind of realized that as it went on, but he was so full of embarrassment and like heartbreak and sadness. I think he tried to cover it up with anger, because he tried to do this like fake angry thing, the boyfriend, but like it was honestly just heartbreak and embarrassment.
yeah, I mean,
like, oh my god, this
that part might be true. I mean, I only fucking searched it myself out of curiosity, and it looked grim enough not to fucking watch through the whole thing. But yeah, I would imagine quite a lot of it was staged. In fact, probably the whole thing. Even if it wasn't, and it was acted out, and yeah, things like that. It's kind of hilarious, just, you know, faking reality like that is going to get it more kind of attention, regardless of whether, obviously, it's set up in... Because I remember the first frame was like the chick's fucking blowing her dude, her boyfriend at the time. And even then, he's struggling to get it up. Or maybe not. Maybe that was just what he was packing. I'm not sure. But it seemed like he was pretty unnerved. And yeah, you got to wonder how much of it's legitimate. And even the whole, like, you just have to wonder, like, even when, you know, she's getting plowed by the black guy and whatever, and she's fucking going off on one and stuff, but maybe she's fucking getting off more on the fact that she's being filmed, or just on the fact that it's all bollocks, so it's just playing up to it and all this kind of stuff. You can't really ever know. But at the same time, yeah, I mean, I'd imagine this kind of concept would probably put off guys from doing this kind of thing anyway. But in general, as a dude, I mean, when you think of a threesome, it never really involves another fucking dude, does it? Let's face it. That's not what's in your mind, as a heterosexual male, at least. And so, yeah, it's already a bit gay. It's gay on a lot of fronts. It's gay on the fact that if you're a guy insecure about, you know, your own ability to fuck your girlfriend, and you get off on some other guy, especially one of a different race, but even just another guy who has a, you know, a cock raring to go, whereas you're struggling or whatever. And the fact that if that was your woman and she's that into it to the point where she doesn't even acknowledge you exist, I mean, I feel like a lot of that fucking video, and again, I will state, I watched like 30 seconds of it, if that. But if that was a scenario, then the best part of it, at least you know that she's basically cheated on you in front of you, and what else do you need to know at that point? The fact that you went along with it was already a sign of like, dude, fucking yeah. If a chick ever is like, oh yeah, I really want a threesome, babe. There's this guy at the bar who I really want to, like, you know, why don't we experiment? Yeah, afterwards we can do it with my best friend or whatever. It's like, no, has to be the other way around. As a guy, don't ever go along with that just for the sake of it. Unless you're bi or whatever, then have at it. Suck his dick for all I care. But if you're a straight guy, then that's the worst thing you could ever do.
It's fucked. It had 5 million views, and it wasn't like porn that you jack off to. It's like that shit that you see on Twitter, and you watch it because it's so fucked. So yeah. Other than that, I did the Peloton this morning. Right. I'm trying to cut again. I'm trying to go to the gym. I'm gonna get because I'm back home now, so I gotta get a gym membership around this area. And I'm gonna get jacked again, hopefully. And yeah, my Instagram reels are doing shit. I feel like my videos are not as good as they used to be. I was getting bogged down by the stresses of school, so I feel like it just fucked up my video flow, you know? Like, I failed a class, like, I was eating like shit, waking up at 4 p.m. Like, I'm gonna fix all that.
Well, that's a great point. Because I imagine, regardless of, like, it being a black guy, I think it's more like this. if this chick, imagine like any girl was inviting you, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have me and my boyfriend, we want a threesome, and all that. But really, you kind of know that she just wants you to fuck her. The thing that's probably turning you on a bit is the fact that you know that her own boyfriend isn't, you know, fulfilling his promise. And yeah, it's a toxic, cruel, cringe kind of thing. But yeah, he's the one in power, basically. And yeah, I mean, the guy's just going on about joining the gym or whatever. Basically advertising his own, well, interest in doing such a thing, maybe. Who knows? But yeah. Still. Well, there we have it. There we have it for tonight, I think. That's aggressive. I think you should be involved in one of these threesomes, because you're already you got the rage for it. You got the hate. So just imagine fucking one of those guys' girlfriends in front of them. That's probably where the arousal comes from, really. I don't know. But yeah, the initial impression I got from that was just like, what the fuck? And then I guess because even if I reckon the porn itself was probably fake overall, maybe. Or even if it was slightly real, there's a staged element. So yeah, whatever. But you can also envision yourself in such a situation. But not even just as a guy, just as like in any three-way kind of scenario. If there's two of you who are way more into it than the other person, then that is yeah, a nightmare kind of scenario. But this is a very good point. I mean, probably the most profound point of the evening, I would say. But well, I'll check my yeah, the donations have dried up. It's all gone to shit. So I think this is my cue to get the fuck out of here, basically. Yeah, that's it. Have a good one. I'll see you yeah, next week. Yeah. And whatever, I suppose. Adios.